What's up, Eagles Nation? What's going on, NFL world? How you doing, Division Rivals? This is Steven Hyder with Gate City Sports Channel. The sports channel where the cerebral NFL fan comes for about 10 minutes of daily content. All right, everybody. Today's topic, I'm going to talk about cornerback, University of Central Florida, Tay Gowan.
Nice coverage by Gowan.
Yeah, guys, this is Vic 3's guy. Vic 3's all about some Tay Gowan. Look, I like him too, guys. I'm not going to lie to you. He kind of intrigues me, right? He's not the highest cornerback on my board or anything like that, but he definitely intrigues me. And what really surprised me right from the jump is that when I turned on his film, he definitely seems to fit the profile of these kind of tall, long corners that can get in and disrupt passes, things like that. They can get in there for the breakups. I thought Tay Gowan kind of showed you that. But I was a little let down by his pro day and the measurements that came in because it just didn't line up with what I thought the film showed. And I was like, oh, you know what? Kudos to the guy, because although the measurements didn't match necessarily the expectations you had, the film matches the expectations of being able to do that. And he came in at 6'1", 185 pounds, which not horrible. That's decent sized profile, guys. I mean, that's going to get it done in the NFL. But I was just kind of expecting from the film and the measurements that were listed from UCF that he was going to come in around 6'2", 6'3". Came in an inch or two under what I thought he would be. And then he came out with 31 in a little less than a third inch, arm reach, the length of his arms, which is a little short. And I thought definitely he was going to be one of those guys that was up around 32 inches or a little further in his reach there, actually. I was a little shocked by some of those things. What I will say, though, go to the film, consult the film. You see a kid that can get in there and he can make plays on the ball. So, I mean, what are measurements, right? They're just physical statistics. What does the film say, right? And I think that's what's more important, is what the film says. And what I will say about Tay Gowan is that, man, I watched him play against pretty good competition in 2019 versus Stanford. And you got Semi Fehoko, I think that's how you say his name. Sorry there, guys. That was a lot of stuttering just to get that word out. And then you also have Cody Parkinson, their tight end. And I thought he did a pretty good job playing against those two. I mean, they had their moments where they definitely beat Tay Gowan. No doubt about it. You look at the kid Parkinson, the tight end. They used him a lot kind of like the Eagles would use our tight ends. They'll kind of, David Shaw's system's not too crazy or too dissimilar from NFL systems to where you'll take a big tight end, like an F tight end, which generally speaking called an F tight end or a Y tight end, even a guy that's normally in line, and they'll take him and they'll line him out on the boundary as an X as your tight end and kind of utilize him there.
Costello over the middle into traffic.
You get to a kid like Parkinson, you're talking about a 6'7", 250-pound guy, and you got Tay Gowan, who's listed about 6'1", 185 with 31-inch arms, matching up against him. And I thought he was pretty good. I think that he can do a fairly good job at recovering. He's got really good recovery speed. What I will say is I looked at him and I broke down what was going on here. I think he's pretty good at staying in phase. He stays in phase meaning in that hip pocket, guys. Is what you normally hear. We say, oh, he's in the receiver's hip pocket. They're talking about a technique of being in phase. And you guys that played corner probably remember those zigzag drills where you're just basically following the receiver, staying in phase.
Costello at work and incomplete.
He's pretty good at that, guys. You can see the makeup speed here. He's got adequate foot speed. His 40 time's not, great. I mean, he ran a 4.44 40 in his pro day, which, translates to about a 4.5 or a high 4.4 in reality. You always got to add a little time to hand timers, guys. With that said, guys, I mean, that's a decent, adequate speed. What really gets me excited is that he put up a 6.88 3-cone. That's a really good 3-cone, guys, especially for a guy his size, even at 6'1". That's a good 3-cone, man. I mean, it kind of translates, and you can see the fluidity in his hips on film. I thought he was fairly good in off coverage. I thought he was fairly good in man press. And I think a lot of that has to do with his ability to recover when he gets beat. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that he's fairly fluid with his hips. He's got some of the underlying some of the underlying skill set, I should say, that you want to see.
in right now due to some injuries along the offensive line. Costello with a completion.
Now, I will tell you that this young man is definitely a guy that has to be coached up. There's a bit of a work-in-progress project to Tay Gowan. He's got a nasty habit in man press of getting himself off balance, kind of over. It's called an overextension, right? It's when you get caught leaning a little bit.
Along with Houston High-Muley. Costello to pass.
He got away with a lot of it, guys, just because he's got an appropriate size. You know, he's a taller corner, and he's got really good makeup speed. The issue is, guys, is that I saw a couple times to where, you know, he got taken, like, especially with Semi Fehoko. He got him. Like, Fehoko got him a couple of times. But Fehoko on one big play, he didn't make the catch. Like, that's, you know, you got to give it to Fehoko, who's a guy who really needs to make the catch there. But
on 2nd down and 7. Costello taking a shot deep, has a man, incomplete drop.
He didn't complete the action. He didn't complete the action of the catch. So, I mean, Tay Gowan, definitely a guy that, you know, he needs some finer tuning. He needs to be coached up a little bit. I'm not too sure what to make of his run support, guys. I mean, I think he's got adequate size. I mean, I do think that he showed effort. I don't know if he's going out full effort that you see for him in man press coverage situations, translating to the off coverage run support stuff per se. But I mean, he gives adequate effort. It's not like one of those guys where it's like, let me go down here and just walk my way into the play. You know what I mean? Like, he gives effort, but I do think he can struggle to get off a block sometimes, though, too. And I think that's part of the, you know, problem you'll get with any young prospect that you break down, guys. I could do this all day and nitpick the crap out of guys if I really wanted to. But that doesn't necessarily give us an adequate judge of what he could be. What I will tell you guys is I'll link it down below. I would go watch the film of that 2019 game versus Stanford. I mean, there's a lot of interesting prospects to break down in that game that you guys should have interest in, right? That UCF secondary is stellar. You got Richie Grant, Tay Gowan, Aaron Robinson. All three of those guys are worth a watch, guys. This is really good secondary, right? KJ Costello was the quarterback at Stanford in 2019. He's a late-round quarterback prospect in this draft class, guys. You had Semi Fehoko, who's probably a 4th kind of round guy, maybe early 5th round guy at receiver. Big physical kid, man. 6'3", 6'4", 225. I mean, he's a nightmare with the ball in his hands. He can really thump guys. I would go back and watch that film, guys. If you haven't watched it, it's a pretty good film to watch. Watch him line up against guys like Fehoko and Parkinson. And, you know, those are good, you know, test guys. I thought he was pretty good. Like I said, in off coverage, I thought he did well. Like, I even saw a play where Aaron Robinson and him, you know, Aaron Robinson comes down and kind of gives a nice little check, you know, jam at the line there. On the receiver, it's a cover 3 principle, so Tay Gowan kind of drops back deep. And you can see the off coverage and just the way he can shoot his hips. He gets back into the play window pretty quickly. And, you know, look, if the ball's better placed, could that have been a much more contested play? Sure, but overall, fairly good job there by Tay Gowan on plays like that.
Second man, 6 gets home, Brendan Hayes. And that's what happens when you keep fresh legs on the...
So, he intrigues me, guys. Let me know your thoughts, though, guys. What do you think about Tay Gowan? Leave your comments down below. Don't forget, guys, if you want to support the channel, you can buy me a cup of coffee. Link is in the description below. Also, don't forget to like and comment on the video, guys. It's what spikes the algorithm, gets this suggested to other people. And last but not least, if you're not subscribed, guys, we would love to add you to the community. Doesn't matter what team you support, guys. We're all about advanced analytics here and film breakdown and stuff like that. If you guys want to come in and kind of talk, you know, we do talk just outside of Philadelphia, guys. All right, y'all. We appreciate y'all's time and attention, and we will see you guys on the next video.
Pressure off the edge. Costello up top and knocked away.